16 days, I think.
16 days. So we've had our goats for about 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
And we did buy quite a bit of stuff in preparation for having the goats. We're kind of newbies to goats. We're not 100% sure what all we needed. I think you asked a lot of questions on some goat forums. Done a lot of reading. We got a couple goat books. Done a lot of reading on what we need to have for goats. Watched a lot of videos on it.
I wanted to have like an emergency kit for whatever might come up.
Yeah, so we did end up purchasing quite a few things for the goats. Not still 100% sure how often we'll use all these things, but anyway, we thought we'd share with you guys all the things we ended up purchasing here the weeks before we got the goats, and then we purchased a few things this last, week after we got the goats. And so we'll show you those things and kind of explain what they're all for. So our dog is still pretty hyper around the goats, so he's not really allowed in with the goats. He can look at the goats through the fence, but he's definitely too hyper. He actually kind of, I don't know, you said he kind of nipped at the goats a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah, I think he was trying to play with them, but he just is too crazy.
Yeah, he just ended up scaring him.
No.
So the little dog can't go in either?
No, it scares the mama goat.
Okay, no dogs are allowed with the goats.
Not until she's more comfortable.
Okay. So today you've left the door open and you've let them come out here, and we've got this pile of concrete here, and the goats love climbing on that pile of concrete. And so they come outside, but they don't stay out very long. They like staying inside the barn, don't they?
Yeah, I think the mama is worried about something getting the babies. So she's always looking around and listening, and if she hears anything or thinks she sees something, she runs back in.
Yeah, so the mama seems pretty protective. So here's the little baby goats and the mama. So they're about 18 days old now. Yep. Maybe we can get them on video here bouncing around a little bit, but they're definitely pretty active little goats when they get going. So she's going to go ahead and get out some of the stuff that we ended up buying for the goats. But before we bought the goats, we knew we needed some kind of hay, and we don't make our own hay yet. And wasn't for sure exactly what type of hay the goats would eat or prefer, or what they had been eating. So we ended up buying some orchard grass, red clover mix hay, and then we ended up buying an alfalfa hay, alfalfa grass mixture hay. And honestly, the alfalfa looks way more greener, looks a little bit better quality, and but the goats definitely prefer the alfalfa. That's the one that they definitely go for. But we ended up buying 7 bales of each, total of 14 bales, and put them upstairs in the upper level of the barn. And so that's what we have to feed the goats for now, is these 2 types of hay, and until finally the pastures get green enough that they'll be able to get out there and maybe get most of their food that way. Needless to say, our first bale of hay ended up laying right here. I think you've seen it in a previous video, and the goats have utterly destroyed that bale of hay by bouncing on it and climbing on it, and most of that alfalfa bale is now on the floor. So we've definitely had to try to do something different, and then that's why the bales of straw are now off the ground, hopefully where the goats can't bounce on them. So I guess the one good thing about this hay being on the ground, it at least allows the baby goats to be able to, maybe eat a little bit. And if, well, they like bouncing in it. Yeah, so apparently it's not dirty enough hay that she won't eat it. So I thought that most of the time when hay hit the ground, they wouldn't eat it, but you can see right now that even the mama goat, and they're all eating it right here. So besides just buying the hay for the goats, we also ended up buying some loose minerals. So we bought a bag of loose minerals from Rural King that was specifically for goats. And we ended up putting that here in this mineral feeder. And then on the other side of this mineral feeder, this white powder here, we ended up buying a big box of baking soda. And we got baking soda in there for free choice. So baking soda can be ate by the goats if they start having some kind of upset stomach. problem, and that'll help relieve that. It's kind of like the same as like if you end up having heartburn, you can mix baking soda and with water and drink it, and it'll help with heartburn. So humans can use it sometimes. So I guess goats can use it also if they have some kind of stomach issue. So this here is this is a large dog crate. I think it's 30 inches tall, and this is pretty much the largest dog crate we could get in the wife's SUV. And this is what we ended up using to haul the goats in a car. So we don't have a livestock trailer yet to be able to haul livestock. That is a purchase we plan on getting in the future, is something to be able to haul livestock and bigger livestock. I want something to be able to go as big as a cow. If I want to purchase a cow. So, but in the meantime, we were able to pick up this dog crate, and this will work for transferring, transporting small animals back and forth to the house if we want to make any purchases. All right. So here's most of the stuff that we ended up buying for the goats. So most of this was either bought at like Rural King or a farm store or Caprine, right? That's an online goat supply store.
Yeah.
So, so what did we end up getting?
Well, I have a little drenching gun. It's a 30 cc drenching gun. I think I got that one off Capri.
So what's a drenching gun do?
So some medications you have to give as a drench, so you mix it with water, and you just kind of put it down their throat.
Yeah.
Make sure they get it.
Okay. Good way to kind of force some medicine down the down the goats.
Mm-hmm. I have a thermometer, of course, so I can check their temperature. And then I have some B vitamin. This is an injectable B vitamin. And then I have some oral B vitamin.
So what exactly is the B vitamins? Why do you need those?
So it helps treat a couple different things. If your goat is sick, you can give the B vitamins, and also goat polio is a thiamine deficiency, which is the B1. So you give an injection of the, I've got this fortified vitamin B complex that I would give them for that.
Okay.
I also have, I have some triple antibiotic ointment that I got at Walmart for 88 cents.
Is that just like regular ointment you would use on cuts
Yes.
and stuff?
Yep. Same thing.
Same thing.
Like a Neosporin.
Okay.
And then I have, these are for the hooves. For trimming hooves, which I have not done yet, but I've watched videos.
Okay, so them are hoof trimmers. Where'd you get those from?
Are
those from Caprine also?
I think, yes, these are from Capri.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think that was one thing we had trouble finding at the farm stores. We didn't find those hoof trimmers.
So we have the wormer. This is the wormer we bought.
Yeah, so it's a goat dewormer. It's basically pellets that you feed them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now the thing with the dewormers is they actually, you need to rotate and do a different one every time, right?
Yes.
How often is that? It's like every year maybe? Or 6 months or something like that?
I'm not exactly sure. Probably every year, I would say. Especially if you're treating them twice a year.
So I think there's about 3 different types of dewormers or dewormer medications, and I think you need to rotate between them, right? So that they don't get tolerant of the medication. Yep.
I was trying to find which this one was.
And that's one thing, when we looked at multiple brands, there was quite a few that ended up having the same active ingredient.
And the mama goat had the ivermectin, is the last one that she had.
Okay, so you did find out the exact type of dewormer that Gracie had previously.
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I have some peroxide.
That's just regular peroxide from like Walmart pharmacy as well?
Yes.
Okay.
I know there's kind of, people go back and forth. A lot of vets don't use peroxide much anymore, but I think just for cleaning purposes, not for using constantly, is okay, because it can slow healing of wounds. So, and that's the same with people too. And And then, let's see, I bought this yesterday. So this is the band castrator, and these are the bands.
Okay, so that is for castrating Luke if we want to turn him into a wether goat.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be what we do to wether the goat.
Yes.
So those little elastic bands.
And this is just some electrolytes.
So this is what you would use in a drench.
Yes.
Is this the only thing we have right now for a drench?
Yes.
Yes.
This is it
Okay.
right now. Okay, so I have a couple different size syringes. I have a 10cc syringe, and this is more for probably larger goats or larger animals. I probably shouldn't have any medicine that I would need to give that much to these goats. And then I have a 5cc syringe, which I'll be using for these goats.
So basically what you're saying is most of the time you're going to give medication, it'll be 5cc or less.
Yes.
So you'll probably use the smaller one.
Correct.
And it'll be pretty rare case to use more than 5ccs, but you have it just in case.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, and then I had bought these 20 gauge needles from Caprine. It seemed like that's typically what you use for the sub-Q injections.
Mm-hmm.
But then I saw that some medications are thicker. So I went ahead and got the 18 gauge needles at Rule King. So these have a larger diameter. Needles are opposite, so the lower gauge is a bigger diameter.
Right. Yeah, it's just like a metal gauge. Yeah, the lower and wire gauge, the lower the number, the actual bigger it is. So you're saying these are bigger needles
Correct.
for a
I think
for a
the
thicker
penicillin-
for like a thicker medicine.
Yeah,
like
I think the penicillin may be thicker from what I read, so I thought I probably should have some of those on hand just in case.
Okay. What about like to do with sometimes you put medicine underneath like the skin, and sometimes you put it in the muscle. Does the needle matter for that, or do these needles do work for both?
Okay, so the diameter doesn't necessarily matter for that, but the length of the needle will matter. I think these that I got are 1 inch. I'm thinking those will be long enough for these goats, but you would need a longer needle so you could get into the muscle. The sub-Q, it wouldn't matter. You could have shorter needles. You're just going right under the skin, so you just have to get underneath there.
Yeah. So sub-Q is a under the skin
Right.
injection. So you're saying, I guess I'm trying to reword this. I guess basically you're saying is these goats don't have a thick enough hide that you can probably get into the muscle with a 1 inch needle.
Yes.
But a larger animal, thicker hide, you definitely want a longer needle than 1 inch probably.
Right.
Okay. So my wife is a nurse, and so she's pretty familiar with, human medications. So she's trying her best, to learn the goat medications. And I think needles are not anything you're, yeah, you're pretty used to needles. Okay.
Yes.
Me, I don't like needles, especially in my body.
Yeah. Okay, then we have the styptic powder, which this is the blood stop. We actually had trouble finding it.
Yeah, so that's a blood stop powder in case you get a wound. You can put that basically on the wound, right? And it'll make the blood clot.
Yeah, and I think this we had to get off of Amazon because they were out at Caprine and I couldn't find it at Rule King. You can use cornstarch in a pinch, but I wanted some real blood stop powder, so that's what I have. This was actually here at the farm. It's never been used.
Oh, we found this here on the farm, so it's
Yes.
probably a little old.
Yes, it is. But it's just an antiseptic ointment. It says cattle, small animals, pets, the horses. Of course, they had horses here, so that's probably what it was used for, or what it was bought for. But it wasn't ever opened.
Never opened. Okay, yeah, we did find quite a bit of stuff here, from previous owners that was left here in the barn.
We also found the container that I'm storing everything in.
Yeah, this was found here in the barn, and they actually had syringes and different things in it when we found it. I think it had different medicines in it when
Yeah.
we found it for horses.
But it kind of snaps closed, so the goats can't get into it. That's why I've been storing all this stuff in. And then I've been keeping a towel out here just in case one of the goats gets into the water bucket, or I don't know, I need to clean them off. I've just been having that on hand.
So basically the towels just to clean them, but basically if they get wet, it's a way you can dry them in case the goats somehow get themselves wet. Okay.
Yes.
So is there anything in that little container that was sent by Caprine?
Right, so the medication, I have more needles. I have lots of needles and syringes. I just bought I think like 10 packs.
Okay.
So yeah, this is what the medication that was in the refrigerator came in. It came with an ice pack, and that's what they sent it to us in. So that's why I'm keeping a lot of the small stuff in.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. So we do have medication inside in the fridge, and we'll take you inside here in a second, and we'll show you the few things that we bought that we actually have to keep refrigerated. So we ended up buying 3 things for the goats that have to be refrigerated. So what are those?
Okay, so I got some antibiotic, penicillin G, to keep on hand. I got the CDNT toxoid, so this is the vaccine that you give them that I'm actually going to be giving them tomorrow. And then I'll give them a booster in 21 to 28 days, and it just prevents tetanus, and then it's also prevents a bacteria that's normally around that when it gets in their gut without oxygen, it can kill young goats quickly, but it will cause bloody diarrhea, some central nervous system issues, so that's why we vaccinate. But if
What's the name of that disease or whatever?
Enterotoxemia.
Enterotoxemia. Okay.
Yes. And then if you catch them having symptoms, they have the C and D antitoxin. So this is more of a treatment, and this is prevention. So I've just got all these on hand just in case. Let's see.
It's hard to it's hard to film them, isn't it?
Yeah,
They move around pretty good.
they do. Hey, Lega. Gosh, you're nice.
All right, well, we brought the little dog in here, and the mama goat is snorting a little bit.
Maggie.
Ooh,
No.
she did not like the little dog. Act like she's gonna headbutt you.
Yeah, she'll let you know to stay
Yeah.
away from her baby.
She's protecting her babies. They don't know what to think of you. Anytime.
Okay, so I've been monitoring the goat's weight, make sure that they're staying healthy. And I just weighed Leia. She's at 7.5 pounds. She was 6.5 pounds last week, so she's gained a pound since last week. And then Luke was 9 pounds, and I did not weigh him. He's kind of hard to catch, so I didn't weigh him last week. But the week before, he was 5 pounds, so he's gained 4 pounds.
Since we got him,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah, he's almost doubled in weight.
So I guess that just means they're healthy and they're gaining weight, and shouldn't have any problems with them, right? So I mean, okay. She's not going to forgive you for bringing in the dog.
I know. I was having to take this feed barrel out of here because she knows how to get the lid off. So now I have a bungee wrapped around, make sure she doesn't get into the grain.
Oh, okay. So she's actually lifting the lid off the grain. Oh, we'll keep the grain in that trash can?
Yeah, that lid doesn't fit real tight like some of them do. So,
Yeah.
So she was able to get in there.
So, I mean, so this scale is a scale that you got off of a girl because she used it to weigh rabbits
Yes.
with, right? So, and that's actually been pretty handy because we actually weigh out her feed.
Yeah.
Right? So we're giving her, right now we're up to 1 pound in the morning and 1 pound in the evening, I think, for
Yes.
food, right? So we weigh out the food for her.
And then I've added in, she's pretty thin, and from what I've read, you really shouldn't continue to add grain. I think she's getting enough grain. So to add calories, they say to add Boss, which is the black oil sunflower seeds. So I've been giving her 1/2 cup with her morning grain, and I may increase it this next week. You have to do it slowly, so they don't get upset stomach.
To get them used to the sunflower seeds, but she likes the sunflower seeds and eats them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
She does. She gobbles them right down.
Well, just wanted to show you guys I guess all the stuff we ended up buying along with the goats. So there was quite a bit of stuff we ended up getting besides the goats. Don't know how much we'll use all of it, but
Better to be prepared.
yeah, better be prepared. So, well, that's it in this video, guys. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.